Okay, Tuesday, 3rd of February 2026, so Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Greed and fear versus hope and hysteria. How to hodl Bitcoin. Now, there's two damn fundamental things I've noticed about hodling Bitcoin. Is one, you have to have a strong control of emotions and be detached, but not in a spiritual Zen kind of way, but detached from the market. You got your own life, basically. Your thing's going on, or you're so confident, that conviction is so high, you're just doing your thing. But at the same time, understanding, so that's one side, emotion, but also understanding the first principles of Bitcoin, knowing the direction, knowing the game theory, knowing what's happening, knowing what the technology points to, knowing where the world is going, knowing these things, recognizing these things. So with that emotional strength comes that solace, that calmness, that tranquility, even down to the point of touch grass. Meaning you know what's going to happen because that conviction, because the logic, the maths and the science and the technology, the first principles of Bitcoin, money you can own, money you can spend, apolitical, decentralized, with a fixed supply, that is censorship resistant. A decentralized store of value, amazing in terms of maths and technology. So that conviction helps feed that emotional calmness to it. And then, fundamentally also, when in doubt, zoom out. Come on, everyone seems to forget about this. When in doubt, zoom out. That's important with basically anything with regards to long-term thinking. Oh, it went down 5-10% here and there and here. Oh, it's going to do this in the next 24 hours. Oh, there's an 80% chance of that. It doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, no. On the short term, it doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, it's a blip. You look at any chart over the past 15, 16 years, and it will just be flat and sideways. Even 2017, 18, December 2017, tiny little speed bump in the grand scheme of things, and that's it. Don't worry about it. That gives you, it's a positive feedback loop of conviction, really. You understand the dynamics of the market better, and the technology, and you have that emotional control. And I did a video about this a year and a half or so ago, about keeping emotional control, how to hodl. Mix that with a bit of a touch grass, throw a bit of that in there, and to say it colloquially, you're laughing, you're giraffing. You're laughing all the way to the bank, you're giraffing. Meaning you have that calmness. You know the direction, you know where it's going to go. This is why I don't bother with price predictions either. About nearly a year and a half ago, 2 or so years ago, someone rather famous in the space made a price prediction for June 2024. And I was thinking, wow, really? And then that day came and went, nothing happened. A little disillusioned, but I realised viscerally, and kind of the hard way, so to speak, don't bother with the price predictions. If you're gonna do predictions, pick time or price, not both. I got 1 or 2 thoughts on where it's going to be in the future, but that's irrelevant. Exactly. Fundamentally, it's irrelevant because the market, like in that scene from Wolf of Wall Street, no one knows where the market's going to go. No one bloody knows. Sure, by all means, understand it, TA in fundamentals, because that's basically game theory and a bit of economics in there. TA is basically economics, because come on, support and resistance is essentially price elasticity when you extrapolate it outwards. So by all means, study those things, but fundamentally, in the grand scheme of things, the market is going up and one way, up into the where, right into the where, that direction, in the grand scheme of things. When in doubt, zoom out, look at the chart over the past 15, 16 years. Also, fundamentally understand that the market, the Bitcoin network gets stronger every day by $40, $50 equivalent. The 200-week moving average is getting stronger all the time. And there's that meme from The Matrix, when Neo is talking to that bald kid. I forgot his name completely. Let's say Egg. Let's say his name is Egg. That's a nice reference if you watch the show. The meme goes that the boy says, "Don't look at what the price is doing. Look at what's really happening. Look at what's true." And Neo's, "What's that?" There is no bull and bear market. There is only adoption, and that's embodied through the 200-week moving average. To say the market, the network, and the infrastructure get stronger and stronger all the time. And we see things like Square, who have made it possible for merchants to accept Bitcoin. We see more and more people understanding Bitcoin, more educational content like this being put out there. and we see more and more hodlers. The network gets stronger and stronger, and we see more things like what Strategy is doing, MSTR, with all their instruments, Stream and Stretch and whatever else, and who knows what they're going to make in the future. Stink and Strank and Strap, who knows what else. Strap, I imagine, sounds quite fitting, but we'll see. But that is affecting the infrastructure, the plumbing, because I've noticed that at a deeper level, plebs, all they have to do really is just buy Bitcoin and let the game theory, let the incentives play out on a bigger scale, because the market's overtaken you. Understand that in 2021, it took the world's richest man to crash the market. Like that. Now, for the same thing to happen, if the same thing were to occur, nothing. It would barely move the market. The market's gotten bigger. The market's gotten bigger. In the future, there'll be people who are much more influential and bigger than Michael Saylor in the space that are making much bigger moves and developing much bigger things in the space. So in some way, the plebs, all they have to do is just hodl, buy DCA. Yes, the big players are building things, but that's not to say be lackadaisical and be lazy and indifferent and don't bother and just lounge around all day. Still do stuff, still live life. There's an interesting meme that talks about that, the character who's prodding Bitcoin, come on Bitcoin, do something, and then it shocks the person. And there's also the opposite of that, which is Bitcoin prodding the user. Come on user, come on person, do something with life. Again, as simple as touch grass, build something, create something. Because once you understand the dynamics of the market, the price, in a way, truly is the most irrelevant, but also most relevant, most boring and yet most interesting thing at the same time. Irrelevant because you know where it's going to go, you know that it's, lack of a better word, it's inevitable, so it's irrelevant because you know where it's going to go, but at the same time relevant because that shows where the FOMO is, the demand, the attention, the interest, the news, the headlines, the clicks, things like that. That's interesting and important to understand. And once you understand that, you're more detached. The market will do what it wants to do. Don't worry about it. Build. A couple of years ago as well, there was an interesting podcast, Orange Pill podcast, and they had this concept of the fiat dark ages, talking about how fiat money creates messed up incentives and doesn't allow people to, we're working from money that someone else can print, and people have to spend their life working and as opposed to doing what they want, a passion, that kind of a UBI kind of argument. So then we say, right, well, with Bitcoin, if you're on a hard money standard, it's that mantra: scarce money, abundance of things, abundance of money, scarcity of things. And this is essentially, we could say this is shrinkflation. So we follow that lead and we reconcile it with Bitcoin and the game theory to come up with the conclusion that this is the renaissance. This is the potential new renaissance in human activity, human creativity, human ingenuity. Meaning, why is that architecture from that building 100 years ago pretty, whereas over here it's ugly, modern stuff? Shrinkflation, inflation, and other things like that. Other things that are downstream from fiat thinking. Fiat chicanery, we could even say. So then you say, right, well, to embrace Bitcoin is inadvertently to embrace a renaissance. In a sense, indirectly, meaning by being on a Bitcoin standard, you're focusing on quality of things as opposed to quantity. Human nature is still, that desire will still be there, both of them will still be there. But it frees up your time and energy to do things more meaningful in life. More meaningful. I haven't got to worry about money because it's not melting away. There's no inflation. It's entropy proof, you could say, thermodynamically sound, as Michael Saylor would say. So therefore, it frees up your time and energy to do more meaningful things in your life. And how is that mechanically any different from UBI? It's basically not. The end result is the same, but the structure and methodology is different. So then you say, right, well, hang on a minute. By going into a Bitcoin standard, understanding Bitcoin first principles, the tech behind it, understanding the market is irrelevant and it's just noise. All that matters is the long term, so just be patient and wait. And DCA in the meantime, have more Bitcoin than yesterday. than last week, than last month, than last year, and do quality things. Build, create, do. Art, music, science, literature, exploration, you name it, travel. Do fulfilling, meaningful things in life and in the world, and you just live better, you live more. And that's a positive feedback loop in the sense of I'm too busy to focus on the market, what's happening, noise and news developments. Because remember, the market's bigger than us, because it's open source software, anyone can join. Like anyone can use anyone can use chairs, anyone can breathe air, same kind of premise. The market will just develop without me. There's nothing I can do, not in a disempowering way, but to acknowledge that, to say, I don't have access to these boardrooms, I don't have access to this technology, I can't build that code, but what I can do is be part of the network, i.e. DCA. So then you say, right, just focus on life. Again, it's that meme. Well, go on, human, do something. It's that. And all that starts from understanding Bitcoin's first principles. Money you can earn, money you can spend, money you can save, a fixed supply, apolitical, decentralized, censorship resistant, having the emotional control to say, don't worry about the market, I know the direction, I'm confident where it's going to go in the long term. That. Then all the hope and hysteria, greed and fear, it's just noise. Hope, yes. Hysteria, irrelevant. Headlines that are optimized to get attention, to get clicks, to get impressions, to get advertising revenue, or greed and fear, just human sentiment. And even on a Bitcoin standard in the future, there will still be hope, there will still be greed, there will still be gambling, there will be still less intelligent ideas, let's say, in general, just silly ideas. You know, let's jump off a building, stuff like that, all sorts of wacky ideas. Things will still be around. Human nature doesn't change, no matter what happens. So that's the truth. It's that saying, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Essentially that. The surface can change, the painting can change, but the fundamentals are still the same. 24 hours in the day, things grow, crops grow, we still have hunger, still need to eat, still need to exercise. Trees will still grow, leaves will still fall. The spring, the seasons will come and go, things like that. So the more things change, the more they stay the same. So even on a Bitcoin standard, there'll be individuals with a few sandwiches, sort of a picnic, let's say. And then you can go deeper to say that in a Bitcoin standard, the new social problems will emerge. But that's a bit more hypothetical. They will, no doubt, because the incentive structure will change. But what those problems are, that's for a conversation 30 years from now, at least, at a minimum 30 years from now. But understand Bitcoin, the technology, have the emotional control. The market will do whatever it wants to do. Focus on yourself. Build, create, and live life. And not to forget, touch grass. Yeah, very important. Yeah. But otherwise, Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Subscribe for more, and you will see me tomorrow.